under the patronage of Lieutenant General Sheikh Saif bin Zayed Al Nahyan, UAE Minister of Interior and Deputy Prime Minister. The General Headquarters of Civil Defense presents the 5th Annual Fire Safety Technology Forum, UAE.
Assalamu alaikum and Masa al Khair. Before we get started, I'd like to introduce my colleague and good friend, the Director of Maritime Operations from Dubai Maritime Authority, Mohammed Al Bastaki. Mohammed has been in the industry now for a little over 35 years. He's worked overseas in Japan in shipyards. He's a certified licensed engineer. He's worked as the Director of Marine Transportation for the RTA down in Dubai, and he's now our Director of Marine Operations, and he's been leading the task force, the cruise task force, for the last 3 years.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. إن شاء الله أنا والأخ جم نبدأ نشرح لكم عن
شكرا.
عن عدة عمليات يعني في السابق مع الأخوة في الدفاع المدني مع شرطة دبي مع عدة جهات في إمارة دبي ومع جهات حكومية. إن شاء الله في البرزنتيشن نشرح لكم العمليات اللي قمنا في السابق.
So what we're going to do today is we're going to go through what the maritime domain is. And over the last 5 years, working together, we've worked with the civil defense. And before we get into the points that we'll cover, our executive director, Amr Ali, asked us to extend his congratulations, Mabruk, to the civil defense. The civil defense over the last 3 years have shown leadership, they've shown innovation, and it's testament to the work that they've done recently in the high-rise fires from our executive director. That success is not an accident, and it's not luck. That success is from our observation, both Mohammed's and mine, as well as the Dubai Maritime Authority, is testament to the hard work, the commitment, the studying, the practice, and as Willie said, the practice and the practice. But it's also about teamwork, and it's the commitment to professionalism, and it's what we've experienced over the last 5 years working with this task force down in Dubai throughout the UAE. For those of you who aren't from the UAE, you realize we have 7 emirates. Each emirate has a coastline. Each emirate has its own port. We have the 2nd largest bunkering port in the world in Fujairah. We have the largest transshipment port in Jebel Ali. So over 15,000 TEUs a year come through there. Abu Dhabi, massive oil and gas coming out of Abu Dhabi. RAK, Ras Al Khaimah, aggregate. We have livestock carriers coming in. We have ships of all kinds. 98% of our water here comes from the ocean. So maritime domain, that's us. But one of the things we've learned from you is that jurisdiction might be an issue. So we're going to play a video here that shows, not this ship, this happened off of Jebel Ali in 2009, but video man? Okay, we're not ready. Well, sounds like it.
Istanbul, Turkey. A fire has broken out on the 920-foot oil tanker Tapeo, the largest ship in the Turkish tanker fleet. Firefighters struggle to extinguish the blaze as it grows increasingly out of control. The fire eventually spreads to the ship's holding tank, which contains 500 tons of crude oil. The blast from the ignited fuel sends a 20-ton steel hatch cover hurling across the bay. It crashes down onto 2 nearby tankers, severely damaging both. The force of the explosion shatters windows 1.5 miles away. As night falls, the fire intensifies. Smaller explosions repeat throughout the night. Some uncomfortably close.
Ships can be very dangerous. What we hope to do today is give you at least 3 items. We're not going to call them golden nuggets, Willie. But we're going to give you 3 items that you civil defense can take away and immediately apply. We have several shipyards throughout the UAE, and we all compete with one another. The area we don't want to compete on is safety. We want safety as a standard. One of the things that we have to ask ourselves is, why wasn't that tanks inerted? Why didn't it have enough inert gas in it to prevent any spark from igniting that fuel oil? This happened outside of Jebel Ali in 2009. Container ship rams a vessel from Iran carrying condensate from Dubai. Fire comes on, and it happened less than 12 nautical miles off our coast. That's our jurisdiction. Off of Bahrain, a Stolt tanker, again, multiple chemicals, explodes, catches fire off of the Bahraini coast. Spent close to 5 weeks off the coast looking for a place to come back in, even though the fire had been extinguished. Jurisdictional issues. MLO Comfort, off of Yemen, caught fire, splits in 2, sinks, nobody would let it in. Now we're moving into the ferry cruise section, Al Salam, Red Sea. The crew abandoned the ship's on fire, 1,000 people die. And modern cruise ports. The jurisdictional issue we're going to get to, but the legal issue is this: whether it's international law, federal law 19, local law, federal law 24 and 26 as well, a ship is in our port, as long as it's not a military ship, we have jurisdiction.
مثل ما تلاحظون طبعا مثل ما قال لكم جيم شرح لكم طبعا السفن معقده جدا. طبعا سفينه لسفينه تختلف، سفينه ركاب عن سفينه الغاز عن سفينه الكارغو، كل سفينه له انطباع خاص، التصميم خاص فيه. طبعا نحن التحدي اللي نواجهه حاليا التحدي الكروز الموجود حاليا. طبعا الحمد لله بدأوا في إمارة دبي وإمارة أبو ظبي وخرفقان بدأنا نستقبل السفن السياحية. طبعا كل سنة ما شاء الله في أعداد زيادة، ووصلنا تقريبا 500,000 زائر في 2014، فنتوقع إن شاء الله يزيد عدد الركاب. فأنتم مثل ما تلاحظون حجم السفينة حوالي 6000 راكب في سفينة، بلس كرو اللي موجودين على السفينة 2000 كرو اللي موجودين على ظهر السفينة، حوالي 8000 شخص موجود على ظهر السفينة. طبعا لا قدر في أي حالة الحريق أو حالة وباء أو أي شيء يكون، دائما يعني نحن الحمد لله اشتغلنا مع عدة شباب الموجودين عندنا في الدفاع المدني، حطينا سيناريو في حال حريق من جانب السفينة يكون بورت سايد أو ستار بورد، دائما نحط عدة سيناريو لا قدر لو في شيء ممكن يعني نتولى عمليات الإطفاء. طبعا من خلال السفينة تشوفون هاي تعلمنا عدة أشياء منه. طبعا بدينا عملنا فريق في إمارة دبي طبعا مع الأخوة الموجودين في إمارة أبو ظبي وأيضا في نسيمة، شكلنا فريق حطينا عدة سيناريوهات وعدة خطط إن نتجنب الحوادث اللي تسوي في المستقبل. طبعا الحمد لله تعلمنا عدة أشياء من خلال العمليات، اللي هو طبعا الأشياء التحديات اللي واجهتنا خلال الفريق، التواصل مع السفينة. طبعا السفينة طبعا عدة جنسيات الموجودة في السفن، إيطالية، ألمانية، عدة يدخلون دائما في فترة الصيف. في الصيف طبعا في الشتاء عفوا في الشتاء معظم السفن السياحية يتحولون على إمارات دولة الإمارات. وفي طبعا من يبدون رحلات السفن من ابريل لغايه من I think they start November، من نوفمبر لغايه ابريل. طبعا فتره الشتاء يكون قارس عندهم، في السفن السياحه كلها يتوجهون لامارات دوله الامارات واماره دبي خاصه. طبعا نحن حطينا خطط مع الاخوه في الدفاع المدني ومع الشرطه مع الجهات المختصه ان نتجنب الحوادث، لا قدر لو اي حادث بسيط راح ياثر على سمعه الامارات. طبعا التحديات اللي كان واجهها اللغه، التحدي حتى الكونكشن، البايبات اللي موجوده على الارض لازم يكون في انترناشونال كونكشن. طبعا هذا كان في تحدي كبير مع الاخوه، الحمد لله في الدفاع المدني حلوا المشكله. ايضا سرعه الاستجابه، طبعا في المينا ما كان في اي فرق اطفاء. طبعا تواصلنا مع الاخوه في الدفاع المدني. طبعا سرعه الاستجابه كانت تقريبا من 8 ل 10 طبعا على الوقت اللي هم محددينه. وايضا التواصل في السفينه كنا نواجه الصعوبات اللي في السفينه. التواصل ستيل، بدل السفينه ستيل صعب تتواصل من السفينه داخل السفينه للخارج. طبعا استخدام اللي هو الفي طبعا كانت تخاطب داخليا وخارجيا، وفي تواصل داخل بين السفينه. طبعا توزيع الاجهزه بين الموجودين الدفاع المدني ومع الشرطه، وايضا مع السفينه قائد السفينه لهم اشخاص مختصين في السفينه. If you go back just to show no, sorry. لاحظون طبعا السفينه معقده جدا. كل سفينه له طريقه بناء، مثل الدخول، مخارج، الغرف، شيء معقد جدا. طبعا انا الحمد لله دخلت عده سفن، حصلت عده الكروز، اشتغلت على سفن البنكر، اشتغلت على سفن البترول، نقلات البترول. انا كنت 6 اشهر كنا في البحر. طبعا متاهات انت لو طابق دام تنزل طابق يضيع، فما بالك يعني الناس اول مره يدخلون على السفينه، فتكون يعني بالنسبه للمتاهه ويكون صعب جدا التحرك في السفينه، خاصه امور الاطفاء. طبعا الموجودين دائما على السفينه متاهلين طريقه الاطفاء، طريقه استخدام الاجهزه الموجوده، طبعا الاشياء الكهربائيه، طريقه الاطفاء الكهرباء، الاطفاء المحركات، الحمد لله عندهم خبره في هالمجال. طبعا دائما يطلبون الدفاع من خارج او يسمونه من بورت سايد، طبعا من المينا على ظهر السفينه يعني كمساعده.
One of the neat things that we take a look at for the last 20 years working with the civil defense, we've looked through the 20-year record of this sector of the industry, the marine industry, and on the top you'll see where most of the fires take place. One of the things that we take a look at when we go on board with the civil defense team is civil defense are professional firefighters. Shipboard people are professional seafarers. Even though they've been trained in basic firefighting, they are not professional firefighters. It's using your perspective over the last 5 years that have helped this industry identify areas, just like Mohammed was talking about for the International Shore Connection. Does it fit? Well, they thought it did, but it was through the efforts of the civil defense that said, doesn't fit our hoses. The ships that you're looking at, all fairly modern. Most of these fires have all happened within the last 6 years. Again, going back to sovereignty, we want to make sure you all understand. A ship is in your port, it's your jurisdiction. And I know we didn't mention it, but Fujairah has close to 150 ships on any given day off her coast. Khor Fakkan, Sharjah, again, another 50 to 100. We have approximately 60 to 70. RAK maybe has around 20 or 30. Al Quain, Ajman have smaller ships playing it.
مثل ما تلاحظوني السفينة الجزء الخلفي فقط، يعني الحريق فقط في الجزء الخلفي، يعني بعد في خط فاصل. طبعا خط فاصل بعد طبعا جابوا ناس خبراء وهذا طلع ان الاطفاء الذاتي موجود فقط في الغرف اللي بعد خط المورينج، طبعا الحبال الموجوده. كان طبعا الحريق، سبب الحريق كان في اللوندري، طلع الحريق فوق على الحبال، من الحبال بدا طبعا الحبال ما شاء الله كل حبل 12 رول، كل سمك الحبل يكون طبعا ونايلون. فتم تركوا لان ما كان في. طبعا بعد 7 سنوات اتخذ القرار من IMO اللي هو الانترناشونال ماريتايم اورجانيزيشن، اتخذوا قرار انه يركبون الاطفاء الذاتي في خلف السفينه. طبعا هذا كان لهم درس كبير بالنسبه لهم.
And it's not just the nylon, there were 12 lines back there, and many of them were polypropylene as well. Polypropylene, again, this is something you can learn from shipboard guys, Mohammed and I. Polypropylene is plastic. And you have a 250-meter line, and there were 12 of them. That's the equivalent of about 4 barrels of gasoline. So when those barrels cooked off and we didn't have an automatic system back there, it was actually the Miami, and we're going to go into that case study, the Miami-Dade and Miami Beach fire departments came on board this ship. The case study is, if you take a look here, the ship leaves port usually in the evening. And then the Miami Beach Fire Department's notified of smoke coming out of the stern. The ship is contacted, and the ship says, hey, it's okay, I've got it under control. By the time it's out here, it has no control. The fire has burned through all of their control mechanisms. They don't have rudder, they don't have their thrusters. Miami Beach and Miami-Dade fire departments went out to the ship, conferred with the captain, and then assisted, i.e. led, the firefighting teams to put this fire out. It's, again, in their jurisdiction. It was within 12 nautical miles of land. This is what it looked like before the fire. All of these hoses. This is what Mohammed was telling you about the exhaust ducts for the laundry. Lint blew out, a waxy substance, coated these things, fire happens. And again, this was 1998, right? 1998, you fast forward 8, 9 years, 2013, it happened again. Not this ship, but on a competitor's ship. You'd think they have learned something. But from that, we learned a lot. The firefighters that went on board had never been on that class ship, and they had to be led. They didn't know what the systems were that they had in place, the fixed systems, but Mohammed and the civil defense guys now have done a first in our industry.
طبعا مثل ما تلاحظون طبعا اي سفينه طبعا من 2011 ألزمنا كل السفن اللي يدخلون في خاصة في موانئ دبي قبل ما يدخلون لازم يبعثونا الخارطة الإلكترونية نطلع عليه. طبعا لو في أي شيء نبعث الأخوة في الدفاع المدني عندهم اطلاع، عندهم خلفية عن السفينة. طبعا معظم السفينة كل السفن اختلف عن الخرائط الموجودة، فيكون دائما عندنا محتفظين في الخرائط لا قدر لو استوى شيء يكون دائما موجود عندنا. مثل ما تلاحظون معقد جدا. طبعا حتى المسميات التحدي اللي كنا نواجهها المسميات اللي على السفينه. طبعا اليوم يدخلون الدفاع المدني يقول لك اطلع لك على البورت سايز ساربورت ما زين باو فشيء يعني مسميات لاول مره يسمعون كمسمى بحري. اللي يشتغل في البحر دائما اللي عملوا في البحر دائما ملمين بهالمسميات. طبعا مثل ما تلاحظون الاماكن الاطفاء، اماكن الطفايات، هذا خاصه للمهندسين البحريين او اللي دائما يعملون في البحر. طبعا احنا مع الاخوه عملنا عده تمارين، طلعنا على في الكابينه الرئيسيه مع القائد قبل عندهم طبعا هم عندهم في القياده عندهم جميع الخرائط الالكترونيه وخرائط المانوال اللي هو الورقيه. طبعا طلعنا معاهم كيف الحريق كيف الوصول له. طبعا دائما على ظهر السفينه يكون قائد لهم يكون كدليل في السفينه عندما الدفاع المدني يدخلون هو يكون كدليل لهم.
For every one of the ships that you'll go on, by law, there'll be a red tube, approximately a meter high, that'll have all of these plans laminated. The time of a fire is not the time to be pulling out those plans and looking at it. The ships, as Mohammed said, will have these, or the ships provide us the electronic fire plans. Civil Defense has them well before the time that the ship comes in.
طبعا على مستوى العالم سير جيم.
Second explosion.
هذا على مستوى العالم لأول مرة نستلم خرائط. طبعا ما في أي دولة في العالم قبل ما توصل السفينة يبعثون الخرائط الإلكترونية. نحن أجبرنا السفن الزمام أن يعطونا الخرائط حفاظا على الركاب الموجودين على السفينة وأيضا حفاظا على المياه.
When we have a cruise ship in, when we have a container ship in, a bulker ship in any of our ports, they often are taking fuel. One of those big ships will carry approximately anywhere from 5 to 10,000 tons of fuel. That is one of the boats that just exploded that delivers fuel. In that case, it was marine gas oil. It was approximately 1 million gallons that went up. This is taken from a loading zone across from Staten Island. That's in New York. That piece off to the far left, that was a piece of steel about the size of this area that flew a little over 400 meters away. It's a big explosion, but we learned a lot from it. We learned that this is February in New York. We learned that when you have a pump that breaks down, it will grind together, flames, sparks, big explosions. But we also found out that the fire mains on the other side of this waterway were frozen solid. That's why you don't see any water curtains coming off of this bunker barge. And most of the crew on the bunker barge, when they tried to start the water, realized they didn't have any water protection and ran. So some good came out of it. For this, 2 people died. And again, jurisdiction. If it's a Panamanian barge, they're not going to call Panama. If it's a Liberian barge, they're not going to call Liberia. They call the New York City Fire Department. This was seen from New York City. We all thought it was a missile because that mushroom cloud, 1 million gallons. Case study again. What we've found is that we talk about unified command. It seems to have an invisible barrier when it comes to ships. This is a cruise ship that was in Miami. It was berthed right here. Early in the morning, an explosion, a boiler rips through about 5 decks, ripping up steel decks and bulkheads like they were tissue paper. Eventually, 8 people died from the scalding and the explosion. None of the guests were hurt, but there were 4 different departments that responded, and none of them coordinated with one another. None of them coordinated with the captain. It took us 24 hours to figure out where everyone was. Again, we took that lessons learned and Mohammed and the civil defense.
طبعا مثل ما تلاحظون تم بعد يعني الحوادث الخارجيه طبعا عندنا فريق دائما نتابع اي حادث يصير برا، نحاول ندرس الحوادث اللي تستوي. طبعا من خلال هذا تعلمنا، شكلنا فريق كفريق دائم يكون يعني الاستجابات السريعه للطوارئ، الحالات الطالعه موجود عندنا. طبعا وكل فتره يعني كل سنه يسمونه الموسم السياحي او موسم السفن السياحيه، نعمل عده سيناريوهات على السفينه بالتنسيق مع الاخوه في جميع دوائر الحكومه، نقصف معهم ونعمل درلات، ننزل في السفينه ومع القبطان، والحمد لله كل فتره يطلع لنا اشياء جديده يعني ما كنا نعرفها ونتعلمها الحمد لله. ومن خلال هذا طبعا شكلنا كاول فريق على طبعا على مستوى العالم كفريق استجابه سريعه كدائره حكوميه. طبعا لو تلاحظوا في امريكا عندهم دائما كوست جارد هم مسؤولين بالكامل عن الاشياء، ما حد يدخل معهم. اما الجهات الثانيه مثل هونغ كونغ وسنغافور نفس الشيء، الماريتايم هم اللي يتحكمون في كل شيء.
Again, similarly, this was a recent fire on board a cruise ship in Norway. The fire department showed up. The fire was in the engine room, and it makes sense. We have lots of hot spots down in the engine room, lots of fuel. But this is an age-old problem. We talked about it earlier today with some of the other presenters. One of the major differences when you're pouring water on a ship is stability. We lose the ability to pump water when we lose our engines and our diesels. That water is collecting on board, free surface will go to the lower side, and eventually that ship, if you're not careful, will capsize. If we can go to the reason that we have set up the on-scene command up on the bridge of a ship is so that the civil defense can tell the shoreside fire department, shoreside colleagues, exactly what is going on so that we don't do what happened to the Hertigan, the Nautilus. You can tell now she has an extreme port list. And this is only 2 years ago. But once you lose your power plant, you lose your pumps, you can't pump that water out. Fortunately, they did catch it in time. You'll see a view from the stern here shortly that gives you an idea. That's approximately a 20-degree list.
طبعا معظم الاخطاء دائما يكون في الاحتراق، فالاشياء دائما يكون اخطاء بشريه، خاصه في السفن يعني السفن السياحيه. معظم الاخطاء من الاخطاء البشريه اللي موجودين، الناس يدخلوا تعرف كل رحله يتغير الركاب الموجودين، فما عندهم علم، ودائما قبل ما يدخلون يعلمون طريقه اللبس الجاكيت، طريقه الاطفاء، بعد سبحان الله في ناس يعني ما يتقيدون في شيء. يعني معظم تقريبا 90% اخطاء بشريه اللي موجوده. وبعدين هي اخطاء الهندسيه اللي موجودين المهندسين دائما في اللحام، في غرفه المحركات، الاشياء دائما في اخطاء بعد، او في السفن البنكرينج او السفن ناقلات البترول نفس الشيء، هذا في اخطاء بشريه اكثر يتدخل فيه. يعني دائما يكون في اللحام طبعا ناقله بترول تتكلم او ناقله غاز، اي شراره بسيطه طبعا يؤدي كوارث.
This is a capture of the explosion on board the Norway.
At 10, good evening again. The cause still being determined, and now they're bringing in some top federal investigators.
In the meantime, 4 families are in the grips of tragedy, and thousands of passengers will not be going on vacation. On the night team and on the story for us, 7's Brian Andrews live tonight. Brian?
7 o'clock in the morning yesterday, passengers who were aboard the Norway, one of the grand old ladies of the sea, are awakened by the sound of an explosion. Sprinklers are going off, so are alarms. Some run to their muster stations. Other crew members are actually blown out of the ship through cargo doors by the force of this blast. 4 crew members are killed. I'm actually beeped by somebody who says, hey, something's going on. It's the crack of dawn, but get moving. And we mobilized our crews, found out what happened. Tonight, the feds are telling us it is not a terror attack. It is most likely an accident. And just one station has the video as the Norway blew. It's early Sunday morning, and an elderly couple about to head out on a cruise themselves has stopped to take a moment to capture these images of the Miami skyline and other cruise ships waiting at the port of Miami about to embark, when their camera captures the unexpected. An explosion aboard the SS Norway. A deadly explosion. The National Transportation Safety Board has interviewed the Norway's captain and chief engineer about Sunday morning's event inside the boiler room.
3 out of 4 of the boilers were operating at the time. 1 was down for maintenance. It was not the one that caused the problem. The one that exploded had heavy maintenance last in 1999 and had routine maintenance 10 days ago, of 3,000-hour maintenance, which was primarily cleaning, I'm told.
The explosion killed 4 crew members, 2 of whom were inside the boiler room, 2 others who were just above inside the crew quarters. It's an accident that sent 15 other crew members to the hospital. But no passengers were injured. Here's another look at that home video, this time slowed down just a bit, so you can get a much better look at what happened on Sunday morning. Just before the blast occurred, the ship's chief engineer told investigators he felt a small vibration.
The real issue for us on that, again, is 4 different departments going on board the ship without any kind of liaison with the ship's captain. Ship's captain didn't know where they were. There were 4 different departments taking injured guests and crew members off the ship, going to different locations. Again, nobody coordinating that.
طبعا مثل ما شرحنا قبل، بعد الحوادث شكلنا كفريق استجابه سريعه لاي حادث يصير، طبعا خاصه في امور اللي يخص السفن السياحيه. شكلنا فريق، حطينا خطط، حطينا اللي هو الاهداف عشان نتابع الامور الاطفاء، وايضا امور اللي يصير اي حوادث مثل حالات الوباء، الحالات الاحتراق، اي حاله يصير دائما شكلنا فريق متكامل الحمد لله ومتواصلين، يعني باي يعني خلال عندنا ارقام محددين ارقام، مجرد الاتصال يتجمعون كفريق، نراجع الامور، نشوف الخطط ونراجع الخطط السابقه، الدروس المستفاده، شو اللي تعلمنا منه قبل، وحتى نراجع العمليات اللي قبل تصير الدول الثانيه، نشوف نراجعها ونقارن هل وين نحن كامارات، هل نقدر نقارن نفسنا مع الدول الثانيه. وبعض الاحيان الحمد لله نشوف نحن اعلى عنهم، المعايير اللي حاطينها اعلى عن معايير الدول الثانيه اللي حاطينها. طبعا مثل ما تلاحظون السفينه قبل ما تدخل عندنا في الموانئ نبعث لهم طبعا هذا مترجم، نبعث لهم يملون كم عدد الركاب، كم الموجودين، شو حالات الوباء الموجود، طبعا هذا مختصر، ومع الخرائط الالكترونيه موجوده عندنا يبعثونا، يكون خرائط موجوده عندنا لا قدر الله في حال حادث، في حال اي شيء دائما نرجع للخرائط، نفتح الخرائط نشوف وين بالضبط، وين مكان الاحتراق. عندنا كمعلومه وكخلفيه قبل دخول السفينة. Yes, again.
The last one we want to talk about, and again, this is a congratulations to the civil defense teams that are working this. This is the Star Princess. You'll notice this area right here, nice and clean, and please notice all these boats. Ship is broken into 7 different zones. Each one is separately controlled for its ventilation. Notice how this now has caught fire. The ship took close to 20 to 25 minutes to slow down, turn the ship around to prevent that fire from spreading. The fire spread through polycarbonate, plastics, aluminum. But the point that I'd like to bring is by having our civil defense come on board these ships, they noted the fire load right here. All of those boats have close to, I don't know, a little over 200 gallons of fuel on board. They have to last for 6 knots for 24 hours. There is no fixed fire suppression system or detection down on those decks. That was our civil defense in the UAE that noted it. The industry noted that they didn't have any suppression or detection up here, but they didn't see this. So 2 years ago, from the report that the civil defense did on board these ships, the UAE sent that to all the owners. This is a picture. These were all aluminum structures. We use aluminum on the bulkheads on the upper decks to reduce the amount of weight on the ship. This is a typical type of equipment that we have on these brand new ships, which is excellent. The problem is we don't expect a ship to have a fully involved fire in 5 different zones. They ran out of equipment quickly. Again, our civil defense has taken a look at these ships from a professional firefighting perspective, come up with a new risk that we now work with the ports on. This was the drill that we did with the Serenade. The aerial came in with a fire in the boats in port. Once the fire starts in those boats, it's fiberglass, there's no fixed system. Even though that ship will have a crew of close to 1,000 people on board, in port, at least 1/3 of them are ashore. I didn't mention this. I was part of the Norway investigation with the National Transportation Safety Board. 900 crew members. At the explosion, 300 ran off the ship. They abandoned ship. It's in port, but every one of those crew members had a safety duty, yet they ran. They're not professional first responders. You guys are. That's why when these ships are in port, it really is your jurisdiction. We're out of time. Colonel, thank you very much. Recognize it. We appreciate all your support. This has been across the UAE. It's been the federal government, the local governments. It's all the Emirates working together. It is making the industry a lot safer. Thank you.
Thank you.